Hey, 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 man. Can you hear me too? Is it clear? Yeah. Okay. We are doing audio adjustment first. We have like 20 minutes for preparation. So yeah. I'm streaming on Twitch. Oh, really? Oh, okay, okay, okay. Oh, yeah. I'm using OBS. Oh, all right. Yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah, I know what you mean. Let me check it first. Resolution. Frame rate. Okay, I think it's good. Yeah. Everyone is out today. My family, my brother. So I'm alone here. So yeah, no distraction. I hope at least for 2 hours. So I so Easy and Ansel still have not online yet. I don't know. I do not. I think so. But it's okay if the commentary is just you. So it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, that's why I need like three commentators because this long one. I saw Easy was like on Idle, but he just go on offline again. But I do not have backups. I do not have backups, and if I talking while playing, uh, things will be not good. Yeah, I think it's okay. I one time I asked, do you know Koji Kui? Koji Kui or Alex Rushdie? Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. He's one of Lambda root clearers. I first asked him, but he was unable. So the second option, I asked you first. I asked you, and you are available, so that's fine. But yeah, I don't have a backups for commentary, so we only have only you so far. Could you check my Twitch and see if the sound and game audio is balanced? Yeah. So let me turn on the in-game audio. I muted it.
Okay, I can hear the game audio.
Yeah. How about the sound, the or voice
I think that the game is a little bit loud compared to
the last time?
our voices.
Okay. Okay. I lower it again. We just need to wait this attract mode to in-game.
Yeah. Yeah, it's silent right now.
I think you should watch this Rizardi doing Crimson Clover right now.
Yeah, I've got him on.
There are still aim bullets, but there are radiant.
I just don't wanna when my stream begins there will be a technical issues that always happens when I'm on live.
Of course. Yeah.
Oh, but that was when I used my old PC. I have a new one, so I don't think that will happen. Okay, so the game audio is back. Can you check it right now?
Okay. Uh, Let me see if I can hear myself. It, I think the game could be a little lower still,
Oh, all right, all right.
but it's okay. I can hear fine at this point.
Okay, I lower it for a bit again. How is it?
I think it sounds okay now.
Since okay. Is there a way to pause your my Discord streaming? I think the audio for Twitch and Discord streaming is playing at the same time. I guess.
Uh, it. You mean you're hearing it?
Yeah, but let me check
Um,
though. Uh, Probably it's just my game audio, not the Discord.
yeah. I haven't messed with streaming a lot, so all this is usually how I set it up. Like I just close the Twitch stream once I actually start. I just close my Twitch page once I actually start streaming. So I just listen and watch on Discord since that's real time.
Yeah. I will be silent when I'm playing, so
Okay.
I'm going to be silent. No no talking. No talking until the game ends. So by the way, have you have you cleared other routes besides a new route?
Um, I've done new Omicron and C,
C.
like the bottom three.
Oh yeah. Okay. C route
So
is
yeah,
so
the only ones I haven't done are Lambda, and I'm really close to doing Lambda, and then Mu. I literally haven't even tried Mew before.
Oh, Mute is yeah, it's made kind of hard to, especially in the final boss. The final boss has random attacks. How about
Mm.
Omicron?
Yeah, I've done Omicron. That was actually the first co-op run we did.
Oh, that was insane. Omicron as the first clear.
Well, we wanted to. At the time, we thought we were only going to do one run of it. So we were like, well, we'll do the great thing route because that's like the real official one or whatever. And then, we went back and figured out the whole thing about Embryon and how that really seems like more of the true last boss. And so that's when we played that.
Yeah, but yeah, so the embryon is felt like a true ending. But
Definitely.
lore wise, the Omicron is canon because if you seen the ending of Omicron route, there was some spaceships took the GT's remains and he was pulling it out and just go.
Right. Yeah, I do remember that.
And that spaceship is the Pelser. The Pelser, yeah, the main antagonist of Darius 1, 2, Gaiden, Darius Bursts. Yeah. So this game is technically a prequel of all the previous game and Burst.
Oh. Okay, that kind of makes sense with the whole thing about them being life forms this time.
Yeah. If you see in this intro, this attract mode, it mentions something like life form. Yeah,
Right.
if you can see in the intro can.
It says like they wake up across the galaxy
Yeah,
or something.
yeah. So they are on a sleep, but then a planet just exploding. They are wake up and start attack the source of the planet explosion. So yeah, they are actual life forms with metal as armor.
The game still does call them battleships, though. It
Yeah,
says a huge battleship is
yeah,
approaching.
but in the lore wise, they are life forms. Yeah, it's quite deep for a game like this, for a shmup. Especially if you see the embryon ending is kind of, yeah, symbolic. Yeah, especially the embryon with those Christ-like appearance, the angelic. Even the
Yeah, the fact that it is a sea angel, and we were talking about the connection to Evangelion, which is angels.
yeah,
So that's related, I think.
yeah, I think you should reference that when embryon ending shows,
Oh, okay,
in
yeah.
case anyone knows the reference.
I think people will.
Yeah, but most moppers is just hate anime. Yeah, I think I know most of them hates those, but some are
Oh,
anime fans. So yeah,
I think the ones that hate it are just very outspoken.
yeah, the one is playing the relay right now hates anime. Every time it
Oh,
gets
okay.
broke up, it's just like shit posting. Yeah, he does not like anime and Toho, so yeah, out of bias reason.
Yeah, well, I'll put it this way. When I went to Shmup Slam 5 in person, there were two people, including myself, wearing Evangelion. Like, I had an Evangelion t shirt, and another guy had an Evangelion hat on. So, people were familiar with it in the community.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Hey Brian, thanks for hanging out here. we will be on for like 10 minutes, I think.
Do you know if it's on schedule?
Yeah,
Don't. Um, I don't
yeah,
know how close this Crimson Clover run is to done.
yep. We will be on schedule in about 7 minutes. Yeah, yeah. Things going
Good.
hype.
All right, this is gonna be good.
Yeah.
What controller are you playing on?
Keyboard. I'm playing on
Oh,
keyboard.
you're playing on a keyboard. Okay,
Yeah,
thanks for mentioning because I'll mention that in the stream.
yeah. I'm using keyboard. I tried playing with my Logitech F310 controller. Yeah, it's okay, but for tight dodging like the embryons, disco lasers, yeah, it's very hard with this controller.
Uh, I play on Switch, so I just use a
Yeah.
I use a regular Switch gamepad.
Oh, is that the Pro controller?
Yeah, that's what
Uh,
I use.
yeah.
I don't use that for most shmups, but anything that's on Switch, I use it for.
Okay. Is it good for shmups? The Pro controller is.
It's it's good enough. I like the people hate on it a lot, but there's it's just a gamepad. If you can play on gamepad, that's an acceptable gamepad.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That makes sense. I'm I was looking for Xbox Series controller, but that thing cost like $80 in my current currency. Well, it's too much. Too
Yeah,
much for me.
yeah, they're expensive.
Yeah, but it looks really good, especially in the D-pad. I have never seen a D-pad like that before.
It also has back paddles, which don't really matter for shmups,
Oh,
but for first person games, the back paddles are really nice.
yeah. Brian, I used to have a fake 360 D-pad, but the D-pad is really sucks. It's really bad. I have to press a right D-pad harder, but the rest are fine. Also, the face buttons are too clicky. That's why I never want to buy 360 pad again. I have those traumas.
I hated the buttons on the 360 pad. Those are awful.
Yeah. Okay.
That's when I
This
is it
will be the
time?
last time I ping all three, Ansel and EC. Yeah, I don't know. EC said he has cleared Lambda and C route, so I think he's qualified enough for commentary.
Do you want me to go get Golem? I can see if he can join or join the commentary.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's fine. Let let him join in. Okay, so we have
Uh,
3 minutes. We have 3 minutes.
yeah.
Let me put on my phone to see in the comments. I always use my phone for seeing the comments. They are helpful.
Right. Well, hopefully a lot of people are gonna watch. Looks like a lot of, or I haven't been watching really carefully, but it looks like quite a few people are watching Rosardi right now. He's got 54 viewers and plenty of comments.
Yeah, come on. We have 2 minutes, and I should get I should go to the toilet first.
Go for it. Brian, what are you drinking? Is it good Japanese beer, though? Suntory, okay. I haven't had it, but I'll try it if I can find it here in the US. Yeah, I don't. With Sapporo, I don't really drink that either. I don't usually drink Asian beers because they're not usually. It's not usually very easy to find any decent ones. Yeah, I'm sure in Atlanta there's probably tons of good stuff. Anywhere on the East
Okay,
Coast. I mean,
I'm just
I'm from the East Coast.
finishing my toilet stuff. So let's
Okay.
go. We
Um,
are waiting
Golem.
for the raid.
uh, So I've invited Golem to um the commentary channel.
Yeah,
Can you okay, wait. You are streaming on Discord already?
yeah.
So I'm gonna watch that, and then I'm gonna watch the comments on Twitch. And then Golem said he needs a second just to grab a headset
Hey,
if he can
Dubs.
join it.
Hello. Unfortunately, Komisan is dating with Tadano right now. uh, she's not here. I need this gadget show. I need these gadgets for information. Oh yeah, he's about to hear, but I think he's not wake up at the moment. He's still offline.
I have a
Also,
feeling he's gonna show up. I
yeah.
mean, I don't know Ansel that well, but it seems like he wouldn't
Okay,
miss
he's
this.
he's online right now. Okay. Uh,
Okay, good.
yeah, I ping everyone 2 times.
Ah, that's cool. I was worried that I was gonna oversleep, so I set an alarm.
um, do you are you having a day off, right?
What Saturday? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, same. Today this hour right now is peak peak Asian horse. Peak Asian horse. So in Japan time, uh, this hour is like 11 p.m. 11 p.m. is
Okay.
kind of a big prime time too. I think.
Definitely on a Saturday for watching streams late night. I
Yeah.
mean, this is when I like 11 p.m. to 12 p.m. or 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. If I'm gonna watch something on Twitch, that's probably the time I'm watching it.
Okay. I'm just waiting for resort history. So Okay, if the sound is sounds good and the stream too, then I should mute. I should lower my volume
Okay.
so then I can focus on the game only. I also close my chat until the game ends, so I open it again. I need to focus. I need to focus on the game.
Okay. I think Golem's here.
Okay, okay, yep.
Hello.
Okay, hey
Hey,
man. Hey,
uh,
Column. Hey, hello, hello.
so I asked Golem to join, or Craig, I asked you to join because Ansel and EC are the other two people that are supposed to be doing this. And Ansel's probably going to join soon because he just got online, but we have no idea what's going on with EC.
Yeah.
Can you hear me, Golem?
Yep. Is my audio level okay?
Okay. Can you look at my stream to see
All
if?
right, they're rating now, so here we
Okay.
go.
Okay. They are rating right now. Okay. Okay. Yep.
All
This
right,
is
so
gonna be interesting.
I'll lead and do the start the commentary for G-Darius. So welcome everyone.
Hey,
Uh,
hello. Thanks for
we're
the rate, Resorty. Sorry, I have technical issues here. Help me. Help me. Technical issues. Help.
so we're getting ready to CPS is getting ready to
Yep.
begin his run
I
of
think.
V2.
I think I should ready. Who expected that? Yeah. Not enough. 10 engineers, please. 10 engineers is enough. Okay, anyway, let's just play the game.
Right? When are you gonna mute when you put a coin in? All right. I think he muted and put a coin in. Okay. So welcome everyone to G-Darius HD version 2. This is a slightly tweaked version of G-Darius that came out about a year after the original game was released in arcades, and it's recently been added in an update to the HD port of the game, as well as the Steam version that recently released. I'm Ghouls, and with me is Golem, and I believe joining us shortly will be Ansel to provide commentary for CPS's run here. So CPS is going to be playing version 2, the Lambda route on default settings. Lambda route is the top route through the game, and for a lot of players, the first route that they approach. Ansel should be joining us, hopefully, because he's the one that knows the most about the history of this version of the game, and I'm filling in the blanks here. So in G-Darius, like in other games in the Darius series, there are five or multiple routes through the game, leading to 5 ending stages. So Lambda is the stage that is reached by taking the top route at all 4 branches. In each stage, there's also an area select. You can see here that CPS has taken Area B through Zone Alpha, and the function of the area select is to determine the second half of the stage that the player encounters, as well as a variant of the stage boss. And each of the 15 stages in G-Darius has a unique boss, and there are 2 variants of each. So there are essentially 30 bosses in this game, And CPS is going to be doing a run that's going to show us quite a few of these bosses, because after he finishes V2, he's going to take us through the new route on the original version of the game, and then he's going to show us the boss rush mode from the for consumer PlayStation and Saturn port of the game. So on in Area B of Zone Alpha, you can already start to see the differences in the version 2 variant of the game, and CPS is going to continue to show us these. For instance, that the captain of this first stage, first captain, that he has captured here is not in Area B in the original version of the game. So, G-Darius has an enemy capture system. It's inherited from Darius Gaiden, which only had capturing of captains. In G-Darius, there's capturing of all enemies. Captains are the sort of most powerful captures that the player can get. And captures allow the player to get a support attack, but also to charge up a hyper beam or an alpha beam, as CPS just showed us doing a fairly safe clear of the first boss, Eclipse Eye. So now he's going to take us to Zone Beta. Zone Beta is interesting because we're going to see giant variants of all the common enemies from the game. So the captures provide 3 functions. As I mentioned, there's the alpha beam that CPS used to deal heavy damage and defend during that first boss fight. The second function is whatever the capture specific support attack is, which you see as green bullets. The third function is as a defense object. So you can see that here CPS has taken the Kufi capture, which works as a front-facing shield and helps to block against bullets from the front. The fourth function is what he just showed there, which was to detonate the capture as a screen-clearing bomb that eats bullets and covers most of the screen and provides vulnerability for a few seconds. We have yet again another difference with version 2 he's showing us here, in that Queen's Child appears in Zone Beta. In the original version of the game, there is no captain in either area of Zone Beta. So that's kind of an odd thing in the original version, and it feels more balanced here in V2, getting to see a captain in this stage. So here you can really appreciate the animated backgrounds that are going on. This is a beautiful 3D game, and the giant dinosaurs that show up in this stage are one of the most fun things to look at going on. So the power-up system in G-Darius is traditional to the Darius series. There are the 3 common types of orbs: red for main shot, green for secondary or bomb shot, and blue for shield or armor. There's a 4th power-up orb in G-Darius, the purple or pink orb, and that provides capture balls. So capture balls are ammunition for the capture attack, and thankfully, if the capture attack misses, a capture ball is not spent. So those are essentially the count of how many captures you can get through the game. And because those are such a powerful weapon, it's important to make use of every single one of them. In a survival run, So the second boss here is Tripod Sardine. Tripod Sardine is a fairly simple boss to fight for survival, but keeping him alive long enough to do a beam duel can be a bit more difficult.
Is the timer here a new feature in the version 2, or is that from M2 adding gadgets?
Thank you, and continue pointing out things that seem unfamiliar to you, because that's a good point. The timer is new to version 2. And something that I didn't know, having cleared G-Darius a number of times, but that you can see in one of the new gadgets that was added in the most recent update, is in the bottom left we have the Yazuka comes timer and the boss escapes timer. So the Yazuka are, I believe, the enemies that pester you. In various
the little
bosses.
cubes.
Right. So it's very easy to play through G-Darius and never see them. And as a matter of fact, I've never seen them. So now we're going to go to Zone Delta. Zone Delta is one of the 3 asteroid zones. The third zone, regardless of route, is going to be an asteroid zone. And Delta is... I don't know if there's anything super distinct about Delta.
I think that's the thing about Meteor stages and all of the, I was about to say Gradius, all of the Darius games, that they tend to be less distinctive because the patterns are more chaotic and less driven by behavior. Just random rocks flying at you.
It's true. So, you're going to see some slowdown here and there in this stage, but I'm actually not sure if CPS has reduced slowdown set. He will have reduced slowdown set for the second run. But even with reduced slowdown turned on, which is a new feature of this HD port and was added when the Steam version came out, with reduced slowdown turned on, there still is some level of slowdown in the game. So he has killed reverse direction instead of capturing him there. I'm not actually sure if that was intentional, but these are long stages and it's difficult to keep the captures alive in this stage in particular. Something that CPS... Go on.
Not all the captures are equally useful, and it's tempting to think like, oh, this one's a captain, so I better take it, but this captain, reverse direction, if I remember right, is like pretty weak and not very useful.
Right. His main utility and the backup utility of all of the captains is that function as a shield. They're very large ships, so you can sort of hide inside them from any bullets firing at you. Although another subtle difference that you might not notice from watching this run is that in version 2 the boss captures have less, the captain captures have less HP. And that also is part of what makes them a little bit harder to capture, because you do need to damage them enough to knock the mask off their face before you can hit them with a capture ball. So here's a rare yellow orb on the screen right now. That is an instant screen clear. I think it's wasteful to use those for scoring purposes, but because this is a difficult area, there's no reason not to grab it. This isn't a scoring focused run, but to just give a brief overview of the scoring system, it's mainly based around bonuses that are multiplied by a multiplier, which is determined by what type of shot kills the enemy that triggers the bonus. So the most common being the wave bonus, but there's also a boss bonus. So a normal shot would just be a 1 times multiplier. A green shot gives a 2 times multiplier, and that's any of the shots fired by captures. A capture bomb gives a 3 times multiplier. A level 1 alpha beam gives a 4 times multiplier. And higher levels of alpha beam give higher multipliers. So again, it's all about using captures to kill enemies to get better multipliers and score better.
Oh, I see CPS did the trick where he got the burst fire on dual horn to spawn off screen, so he doesn't have to deal with it.
So dual horn fires these heavy barrages of missiles as well as supporting attacks, which can be kind of difficult to fight back against. And he also does that dash across the screen that we just saw, which can catch a new player off guard. And here, Golem, you can see this pattern is actually a bit harder than it is in the original version of the game. There's more lasers and bullets here. Now, this is the point in the boss fight where the Eye Fathers are spawned. So, Eye Fathers are spawned by each of the bosses to provide a capture, usually just before the boss fires its beta beam. And we saw a little bit of a beam duel there. We're going to see more of them later, I think, but we'll certainly see more of them by the time we get to the boss rush.
With dual horn in particular, I don't get too precious about the beam duel. Looks like CPS tried to kill it before getting into a proper beam duel just because right after it shoots the beam, it dashes across the screen, and it's real easy just to get totally wiped off the stage by that.
Yes, and CPS is definitely running some live strats here because he's got 2 more runs of the game to go, or 1 more run plus boss rush, so it's only sane for him to be playing these strats on bosses and not going for every single beam duel. So stage 4 is typically the hardest of any route. It is where things tend to get very frantic, and with slowdown reduced in particular, these are just incredibly chaotic stages. This stage has an orange background with orange bullets that the entire game uses, and so having lots of shield and capture resources is something that you can use to get around having to micro dodge every bullet here. So he went right ahead and beamed with Gray Stripe, not waiting around to see what happened. Here we get our first peek at Fire Fossil. So, this is a short diagonal segment. You don't see diagonal segments very often in shooting games. This might be the only one I know of, although I'm sure someone in the comments can brainstorm some other ones. There's a slightly longer diagonal segment in the Gamma stage that we'll see later. And now Fire Fossil appears. This is a huge battleship type boss.
This is just some wonderful fan service that King Fossil's the first boss from the first I don't know what's
I'm not
going
sure
on.
why CPS is paused.
King Fossil's the first boss from the first Darius, and so there's fossil bosses here that take up half of the stage when every other boss is just at the end of the stage. And that's definitely not how Fire Fossil begins on version 1.
Yes it is.
Oh, it is? Too much beam fossil, I guess.
Yes. I could be wrong. I'm not super familiar with these fossil bosses, but there will be some different stuff we see in this fight. So here, Fire Fossil is swimming through the sky, and we're coming up to different portions of the boss. And you can see that bullet scatter there was crazy. There was no way with the hitbox in this game that he'd be able to dodge those turrets firing those scattered bullets, and that's where resources like the Alpha Beam come in, and that bullet scatter was much more intense than what you would see in version 1. Which brings up that version 2 in general is almost a hard mode of the game. Pretty much all of the changes are things that make the game more difficult, except maybe the additional captains that show up.
Yeah, I was seeing this yellow diamonds in stage 2 that are invulnerable to your alpha beam.
That's right. Those gold enemies show up far more frequently in version 2, and those are troublesome as they have lots of HP, and they're the only enemy that can resist the alpha beam. I believe their gold shielding is called Solid Knight. So this is not how this part of Fire Fossil goes in version 1 at all. This is,
Yeah, that looks more like the lower route.
Right. There's a much more prolonged fight, or a final phase of the fight here that I think combines the upper and lower routes. And there was, just lots of tough bullet patterns that he's using the captures to shield against. He's got some nice safe spots here to get it inside this flamethrower's attack radius. And CPS, I gotta say, has shown me a lot of different safe spots to use in these later boss fights that are really helpful in just surviving the game, but also in making it through to the beam duel phases of the boss, which is necessary to score as well as possible.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I feel so silly not ever thinking of that. Staying at the top left.
And this is one that works just as well in version 1 of the game. This isn't the most difficult pattern to dodge, so it's not ever something I really desperate for a safe spot for, but it's pretty awesome that there's one there anyway. So here we get the best beam duel of the game, in my opinion. Ripple. Fourfold beam. Look at that. A beam as wide as the screen. So there goes Fire Fossil. No problem at all for CPS, who's running quite smoothly at this point. He's got 3 shield HP left. You can see in the top left of the screen. He's got 3 spare lives because he picked up an extend in that stage. So he's exactly where he wants to be right now. So here we're going into the final stage, giant or Grand Cliff. This is Zone Lambda. This stage, I think, gives kind of a sampling of lots of different enemy ideas that show up elsewhere on other routes of the game. In particular, it includes a lot of elements from the Beta and Iota stages, which are in Part 4, or Stage 4 on the other routes. Here he has the Ray Benser Plus capture. This is one of the the best captures in the game, certainly for survival, because it has these lasers that are targeted at either enemies from in front or behind. You're going to capture
Pretty brave
Guardian.
point blanking that captain.
So that actually is the best strategy for dealing with Unguardian, because like a few of the captains, he has these sine wave pattern attacks, and right in front of his nose is a safe spot. You can kind of see that from the way that the capture is firing now.
Yeah.
It's safe in front of his nose. So right now he's activated a command attack with the capture. Those big green homing balls that it was firing are based on doing, I think, a reverse dragon punch maneuver, which you might be familiar with from Street Fighter. All of the captain captures have these style of command attacks. They aren't terribly useful. It's something you don't see in shooting games a lot, for good reason, because they require moving around the screen in sort of unpredictable ways while you're inputting the command. But it's just cool to have an extra attack that you can execute that way.
Now, I was watching out for the fake out item and I didn't see it where it normally is.
We got past that, and I missed it.
It definitely was not there. So normally in stage 5 of G-Darius, there's a fake item that appears, and when you try to collect it, it's actually a flame-throwing enemy.
We might see it in new stage on the second run through here.
Oh, first loss.
That's all right. He's still got lives to spare. He's got the wave shot. He's got a shield. There's very generously a shield just before the boss of Lambda.
Yeah, one notable thing about G-Darius is that you have a cap on how many shield hits you can take. So it's not like in the first Darius where you can stack up like 20 shields, and then when you die, it's like you have nothing. Here, when you respawn and pick up a shield, you have pretty much as much protection as when you died.
And you were also, unlike Darius Gaiden and possibly other entries in the series, you do have a floor on how far you can power down. So once you have wave shot, you cannot be powered down back to laser shot, no matter how many times you died. Same with multi.
That's actually a particular aspect of Gaiden. Every other one that has the floor at the
Well, this follows directly after Gaiden, so it's still notable. So Lightning Coronatus, in the original version of the game, shoots fairly similar patterns to this. The fireballs are only 3-way instead of 5-way, but those are still pretty much the most threatening aspect to this fight. You can see he's got a great throat shot, safe spot there to get away from those ribbon lasers.
Yeah, everybody hates those ribbon lasers, and CPS just...
He got vengeance for everyone, I think.
Oh,
That's
no.
unfortunate. He brought us almost all the way to the end there. This is a tough fight. These are all difficult boss battles, and this is a particularly hard variant. So there's no shame in that. Now he's going to get us a bit of a beam duel going. Let's see if he can get to the triple or double beam. And and he's hammering away here. Lightning Coronatus moves around the screen quite a bit, doing each of its attacks from different directions. The faster you kill it, the less of that you'll see. This attack from above is particularly irritating. And I think he's just trying to push us through to the end here. So that was a 2-credit clear of the Lambda route of V2, a very difficult route to play in a difficult Darius game.
Hey guys, sorry I'm late. Did I miss anything?
You're just in time for the second part. We just finished.
Thank goodness.
We just finished the V2 run. So now CPS is going to take us to the original HD mode. He's going to play that on Manic level difficulty with reduced slowdown. We'd have to check with him which of these two is more difficult.
Well, you see, that's the thing about movies. Sometimes whether it's because of traffic or it's because, the bus is late or something, you come in a little bit late. But there's, a whole bunch of previews and, trailers and, and nowadays, commercials at the start of the movie. So, you're not exactly, you may not miss out on the most important stuff, when you come in a few minutes late. So I'm glad I'm still here for you, the bulk of the movie.
Oh yeah, we've still got plenty more to see. We've got many more bosses to fight. So a cool thing about G-Darius is that each final stage has its own ending cutscene. I wasn't super paying attention to the one that just played. But I believe we're not going to see the canonical
They hugged
one.
each other.
Yeah, it's usually something like that.
I wasn't aware that there was a canonical ending of G-Darius.
So, Omicron routes, according to CPS, I'm no professional on the G-Darius lore, but Omicron routes.
Say that again.
Yeah, no one's paying me for this, trust me. But the Omicron route shows the Belser Empire capturing the remains of Great Thing, and so that's
Do you ever actually watch that ending?
the Great Thing ending.
Because, yeah,
It's cool.
it's. I wouldn't use the word cool. It's actually really goofy because it's like a giant 1950s flying saucer just flies onto the screen and scoops up Great Thing like he's a fucking like he's a UFO catcher prize.
Yeah, it's like a little salvage ship.
Yeah, they're just gonna pick up this big fucking whale and bring it back home and I don't know. Paint it blue instead of purple.
Yeah, so in the lore of G-Darius, the bosses in this game are life forms. Later on, they'll be battleships. So perhaps the Great Thing battleship was based on the Great Thing life form.
Oh, it's based.
So this is
right.
Manic?
So this should be Manic difficulty, which is
You know
level
what's
8.
different about that? Are the bullets faster?
I believe it's just more bullets. It's as though the rank was set higher.
This is definitely a Manic episode.
I've watched CPS play through this Manic difficulty, and visually it's a little bit hard to tell exactly what the difference is. So something that's really cool about this homing shot and all the homing shots in G-Darius is that it can actually home in on enemies that are in the background still, which a lot of enemies do, or in the, I'm not sure about the foreground, but a lot of enemies approach from the background, and you can see the missiles will turn into the background sometimes and try to track after them, which isn't very useful, but it's a neat little like 2.5D aspect of the game.
Outside of that, I wouldn't say there's much in the way of environmental interactivity in this game, unlike actually most of the Darius games. In fact, I think this game has the least amount of terrain of any Darius game.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that's very striking.
With the exception of garbage like Darius Twin.
Right.
Like
No, there's a fair amount of terrain in that too.
Feels like half that game like takes place either in like repeating like star fields or like clouds. Maybe Darius Burst like took that as a homage and made half of its stages star fields and clouds.
So the Helix laser that first captain is firing here is the command attack for that capture, and that one is just a simple Hadouken or a fireball input. Quarter circle forward. So he's holding the beam charge here because Eclipse Eye is so darn weak that it's really hard to shoot at him and keep him alive long enough to do this beam duel. And there we have a nice finish.
Meditation.
Okay, so now we're going to Zone Gamma. Zone Gamma is going to be another fossil variant. Now we get to see Queen Fossil. I don't know if that's the mother, maybe, of King Fossil, or the wife. Given this is a prequel.
Well, I mean, I guess you'd have to research how cola seeds reproduce first.
So,
Well, that, I mean,
someone's asked...
don't misgender, they're living beings.
Right. So someone's asked about breakable parts. Yes, there are breakable parts on the bosses. Some of them regenerate, but most of them are fairly simple to knock off. In the HD version of the game, you can look in the bottom right corner of your screen during a boss fight, and you'll see the individual HP bars for each part of the boss. In fact, even for the capture that he's getting ready to go up against your Queen's Shout, you can see that its gold Solid Knight shield has its own HP bar that he's going to deplete before he can get the capture. So the HD version of the game has lots of great gadgets like this that help you play more strategically than if you were trying to figure this all out on your own. And they've added more as time has gone on. So on the left side, you have a health bar of your capture that also shows you the command input that you can use for its special move. You've got your shield HP bar, which wouldn't have been visible in the original game. You've got your beam, remaining time, all things which really help you get every last second out of your abilities. So
And it also looks like we have this helpful gadget about your routes, where you can see you can see that you're either going on the top of Queen Fossil or you're going on the bottom of Queen Fossil. I think that's pretty good.
that's right. So he took us over top of Fire Fossil, and now he's going to show us the underside of Queen Fossil. The undersides of these bosses I find to be a bit more difficult than the top routes, but generally the choice between which boss area you go towards isn't going to be the most significant difficulty factor. It's more just a matter of picking which one you're familiar with and want to learn. Although I'm sure for scoring purposes, there are reasons to choose one route or the other, and Ansel could probably tell us that if he shows up.
The bus must be late for him too, but luckily I think we're still in the preview section. Now, some versions of the boss patterns are noticeably, in my opinion, harder than others. I tend to not go for some reason. I feel like it makes a big difference with bosses like Absolute Defender or Dual Horn. I can't remember which, but I remember certain versions being much harder or trickier to dodge.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for some of
just
those
kinda plan
bosses, like this route on Queen Fossil in particular, the beam duels get timed in such a way that it's a lot harder to take advantage of them, and if you do, the boss won't be dead afterwards. So that's one big consequence of which route you take.
So these lightning shots are going to arc toward the location of the Silverhawk, and they're one of the most annoying parts of fighting this version of Queen Fossil. No problem for CPS, he's gotten through. He's still got 1 shield HP left, which is plenty at this point in the game. And he's going to go to Epsilon route. So once again, we've got an asteroid stage, and this one has the legendary Dimension Diver.
The legendary.
Dimension Diver.
Honestly, it may be better for him to lose his shield before he picks up the next power-up at this point.
Yes.
And if he's
So
smart,
there-
he'll do that. We'll see. We'll see if he's smart.
Well, he's
Oh no!
it takes a bold player to go for that.
Oh well.
So what he's referring to is that a shield pickup with the shield already activated is worth 1 HP at armor level, 2 HP at super level, and 3 HP at hyper level. But if it is picked up with no shield activated, then it's always worth 3 HP.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't sure about hyper.
I think it always gives you at least. I'm pretty sure it always gives you at least 3 if it's from a blank pickup. So it behooves you, if you're down to your final shield, I'll often just lose it if I know I can pick one up, so I get a few extra hits.
So here we see the reverse direction capture that he missed out on in Delta routes. Reverse direction being a reference to the upside down looking nature of this particular fish. We've got some great 3D backgrounds here. We're flying around suspiciously close to this planet.
Yeah, dude, if you check the G-Darius wiki, I'm sure they have a lore entry on all of these stages.
One can only hope.
I think. Oh no! Believe me, I've done my research. I can't remember what any of the articles say, but they exist. Because you see, this is all in the aftermath. I didn't know if in the opening preview CPS played the attract mode. It gives you some important context on the goings-ons of the game.
So he's playing in the Japanese version of the game, so I don't think most of us were able to read.
No, it's. I mean, well, if you can't read, I mean, that's on you. It's all in English, man. But I'm not here to judge. It's not my place to judge. But like, everyone has their strengths.
So
For example, I'll read this warning: a huge battleship Dimension Diver is approaching you fast. And at the bottom it says start button to skip. If you press the start button, you skip the opening cutscene. That's just for the audience out there if they're not sure what's going on. But the backdrop of this game, or what is the catalyst of this game's events, is, quote, a war that caused the disappearance of a planet. A civil war breaking out on the planet of Amelia, and which caused their nearby moon to be obliterated. And this prompted the awakening or evolution of cybernetic organisms known as the FEMA, which is what we are fighting right now, to come and destroy this, destroy humanity, which upset the balance of the life force, of the life cycle.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah,
crazy.
it's like,
to think about it.
It looks like CPS, or it looks like Dimension Diver was kind to CPS. I remember harder patterns than that.
Well,
if I remember
that might
right,
be
Dimension Diver gives you random attacks, right?
That's right. And it's a shame that we
sometimes,
didn't get to
and-
see the fireball pattern, because CPS has a real nice safe spot for that one.
I remember distinctly that the lower route is much easier than the higher route with Dimension Diver.
Yes.
That's a pro tip for anyone who plays this game. Please pick the lower route on that stage. You'll thank me. You can thank me now, but I'll let you thank me later when you finally get onto it.
And that is the stage, or the route that we took when we were playing in Shmup Slam 5, and that was the only time I think we took the lower route. So you always need to remember which area you're going into, otherwise you can get into trouble.
I hope he doesn't miss the extend.
So Iota, like all the 4 stages, has an extend in it. CPS tends to go for the 1 life clear, I know from watching him play earlier, so he's probably not banking on extend.
I mean, that's the only extend in the game.
Well, I'm with you. I prefer to get it too.
There's also the matter, I know CPS isn't going for score, but extends are worth a lot in Darius games.
Yes.
That's right, because there's a remaining lives bonus, and there are a number of other bonuses that are awarded at the end of the game. So Iota, this is a pretty tough stage. Here's the decoy enemy that was mentioned before. He grabbed what looked like an extend item. It was actually a decoy, spawned an enemy, quickly killed.
So what's with this guy? He'll grab the fake one-ups, but he'll just skip the real ones? What the hell is going on here?
Oh, game is
It's called-
played
it's
with
called
the psychology.
It's called a vintage CPS moment, what we call in the business.
So he's got Tailblade here. Tailblade actually has one of the more useful command attacks, even though it's a long input. It's forward, then half circle forward. But it shoots, I'm not sure he's going to show it to us, but there's basically an I-beam that Tailblade shoots, and it penetrates through terrain and can kill a lot of enemies quickly.
It's a little hard to pull off,
And I'm not sure how much the slowdown plays into pulling off those command attacks.
Truth be told, a lot of the time I just kind of just wiggle the D-pad around and hope for the best.
Yeah, that's exactly me.
Viable strategy for non-Street Fighter players. And
Sorry, I play Strive. I don't need to learn all of these stupid ass commands.
I also wanted to mention that in this HD version of the game, for people that don't want to learn any stupid-ass commands, there is an easy command button that will automatically activate those attacks. That would probably classify as cheating to use that, but also they're not that helpful, so I don't think anyone is going to hold it against you if you do.
I think actually M2 arranges the scoreboards that if you use the easy command, it takes you off, right?
Okay, well, M2's going to hold it against you, apparently. They're the ones that put it in the game.
Typical.
So here we have 8 Feet Umbrella. This is one of the most fun boss fights in the game. He's got a nice variety of lasers. He moves around the screen. There are lots of little things to shoot. It's just generally a pretty cool fight. My favorite of the stage 4 bosses, for sure.
Yeah, this one's one of the. He's also one of the easier, in my opinion. Eternal Triangle is a pain in the ass. Fire Fossil is a pain in the ass. I can't remember the other one.
Death Wings would be the other one.
Oh yeah, I can't even. I fought that guy so little, I can barely remember him.
Easier than Eternal Triangle, at least. Eternal Triangle is definitely the worst of them.
Yes.
And the background here is a throwback to earlier Darius games as well, I think.
Yeah, that weird like Japanese painting style.
CPS apologizes for missing the extend.
See, so it was not hubris.
Alright, now we have the true final zone, Zone New. Speaking of pocket dimensions, it looks kind of like we've gone into some sort of subatomic particle level of space, because I don't know how else to make sense of what we're seeing here.
I think it's a stealth reference to the ending of 2001: A Space Odyssey.
It kind of looks like a dance floor to me.
Well, either we've gone to a subatomic particle level, we've gone to a 1969 movie, or we're in a disco club. One of those three options.
The reference to various one enemies right there. It's gratifying to see some Darius 1 enemies in this game. As kind of almost they feel like fan service in a way. You see them in their 3D form, like those amoebas that split apart when you shoot at them.
Yeah. We're going to Zone Z, or Area Z, I see.
Going to Area Z, and this is probably the harder version of Embryon. And there, once again, is that...
I know this guy can take it. I know this guy can take it. He's got it. He's got the strength, he's got the gumption, he's got the captain.
You got Dream.
This fat motherfucker.
So, Dream Tender has this, these green balls, exploding balls that it shoots, and those are very damaging. That's its command attack. I'm not sure if he did that intentionally or by accident, but it can be a useful skill.
Yeah, you gotta be careful while he's still alive. I know, I mean, wasn't it the last time you played this game, he threw his green balls right in your face and then you died?
Alright, so he's coming to Embryon exactly in the status he wants to be. He's fully powered up, he's got 5 shield HP, and he has Dream Tender. He'll probably beam with Dream Tender pretty quickly, but he'll take as much damage with it as he can. Which is the kind of thing that you can do more aggressively now that there's an HP gadget to show you how much health the captain has left.
For survival, sometimes it's good to hang on to the captain because their bomb seems to last about 3 times as long as a normal bomb.
That's
and
right.
It can help you skip through some more dangerous patterns. But I've never taken CPS to be a chicken. He's not going to take the easy way out. He's not going to, pussyfoot around it. He's going straight for the gold. Going for the big clear. Doesn't need the extend. He only needs the fake extends. He's got to kick this boss's ass right here, I'm sure.
You got at least 2 fake extends in this run, so that shows quite a bit of guts.
Is there a JHA category for that? G-Darius fake extends setting? Will we get the world record in the fake extends route?
Embryon likes to dance around the screen a lot, and he is actually, you might think that this is just some sort of fantasy being, but actually it's based on a sea angel, which is,
Well, we all know there's no angels in the sea.
So here is a amazing safe spot against one of the hardest patterns that Embryon has. That top left safe spot while it's firing those helix lasers is so valuable to get through this boss. He's still got plenty of shield left. He's in good standing. I think he might just need one more beam cycle.
Here we've got the tether, which is pulling CPS in towards the boss.
Now you've got this long stream of Taito lasers, which are homing, accelerating lasers. And boy, does he make it easy, given how difficult those could be to dodge.
Yeah, that's definitely a place to use a bomb.
Right? He's gone through his first life, but he's
Wait, was that one of his fake lives or the real one?
Well, I think he's gonna have to use a real life when he dies. Alright, and this should be the final beam duel.
He's gonna blow off that ugly Gundam rip-off head from this boss.
There we go. Beautiful. That's a great 1 credit clear from CPS on the manic difficulty of original HD with reduced slowdown. That is a very, very difficult configuration of the game. Of the...
Come on, chat. Let's see some GGs in the chat. This boy just beat the fake lives category. Come on. Let's hear some praise for CPS here. Come on.
So you can see his bonuses added up here.
Keep them coming. You can say GG a second time.
And now we have an ending which may evoke the ending of certain anime films that people may or may not be familiar with, that may or may not involve angels.
I never watch anime, bro.
No, I've never watched anime either. I don't. What is anime? I've never even.
I've heard about it.
That portion always reminds me of Songs in the Key of Life, that album cover.
Well, it's also the ending from End of Evangelion.
Now, see, do you remember the tagline? Remember the tagline? Do you remember the tagline of this arcade game?
Yeah, you will see
the creation of new lives.
New lives.
And what you saw there was the creation of the planet Darius, setting the stage for the first Darius game. I think that's one of my favorite taglines of any shoot 'em up ever. Is that what a perfect encapsulation of this game's theme, mise-en-scene, aesthetic. It's all there. It's all there, bros. That's why this game is so good.
Everything about this game
Because
is why it's so good.
So
So,
it's the complete package.
so now CPS is going to take us to the quote-unquote for consumer version of the game, which most
Oh,
will
really?
recognize as the console version of the game. And the reason that he's going to take us to this version is because this is the only one that includes the boss rush mode. So, just to give a little explanation.
Gonna play.
of
So wait, is he
the
playing the
boss rush
consumer version? Just the boss rush mode. He's not also playing the consumer version.
Correct. So he's not going to do another run of the game. He's going to show us, first of all, this awesome
Wait a minute, this is the
PlayStation
lore
era
drop.
intro.
One of the lore drops.
Yeah, so
The
watch
second
carefully.
Those are your pilots on either side of the screen. One of them's a psychic.
Which one is the psychic?
The chick. The chick is always the psychic one.
Lucia Fiend. Oh, I guess that she must be a new type.
See, there we go. I don't know what that means, but that sounds suspicious.
So is there a strategy to cranking up the music volume?
It actually lowers the rank. It actually kind of lowers the rank, so this is kind of a scuffed run. CPS is known for kind of devious tricks like this. We're actually not supposed to be seeing this right now, where he's like changing the difficulty in the dip settings. But this is kind of a thing that he's known to do, and it's kind of it kind of upsets the community. But
everyone just has to deal with it.
Everyone just kind of, it's kind of like that like family member that you don't want to show up to your family party. Everyone just kind of has to put up with it. You can be like, "Hey, how's it going?" And then you just go to another room and don't talk to him for the rest of the night.
So for the boss rush mode, essentially what he was doing in that menu, other than inputting a cheat to make the game much easier, what he was doing was selecting the variant of each boss that he's going to face. So he's going to show us variants. He's going to show us all the bosses, naturally, which includes the 9 we've already seen and 6 more. And he's going to show us the alternate variants of all the ones we've already seen. So really, these are 15 new boss fights, because G-Darius includes 30 bosses. Pretty awesome number, especially for a game of this age.
So why is he slapping his capture balls right in Eclipse Eyes' eye? Doesn't seem to be doing
now when he does that.
Bit of swag, right?
Is that a flex, as the kids say?
Yeah, I guess he's taunting him. And you can see Eclipse Eye's not happy about it.
Well, I mean, fish don't have feelings.
Meditation.
M. Night, come on. M. Night, no.
M. Night suggests that there may be iframes or damage related to the capture ball.
No, that is not the case, man.
If so, M. Night might know, but if so, that's beyond me.
I can assure you that is not the case.
Okay, Royhu3M says it does damage, and the port has an achievement for killing Eclipse Eye with
I'm gonna call sus on that one.
So we don't.
Upload a video if you are so sure.
So we don't have the gadgets anymore to tell us about HP. So CPS is gonna have to use his psychic powers to read the boss's HP.
Are you implying that CPS is an anime girl?
Well, explain his profile or his Twitch avatar otherwise.
I could explain it, but you know what? I don't want to get too deep into the CPS lore. I've already done that before. Look, this guy's crying. What a little fucking baby.
One great thing about this this boss mode in the for consumer version is that before the HD port, you didn't really have an option for save states in G-Darius, so that boss mode is actually really helpful for practicing the bosses, especially since they give you that gaggle of power-ups beforehand, so it's not like a lot of ports where they screw it up and give you a state select and then you just go in with no power-ups. This one, back in 97 or whenever it was ported to PlayStation, had like a pretty robust practice for the bosses.
That's a good point. And speaking of the power-ups, just to cover something that we didn't mention during the main run, is that the 3 levels of the main shot, missile, laser, and wave, actually have different strengths to them. So missile is by far the strongest of the 3 weapons. So if you keep that for the entire game, you can actually kill the bosses a bit faster. Its weakness is that it doesn't penetrate. So for things like these missiles that are firing now, it is kind of more difficult to use defensively. Wave shot and laser shot both penetrate. There's not really any particular strength to laser. It'd be kind of crazy to keep that through the entire game. But wave shot is nice and wide and penetrating, so it gets the job done.
Laser is kind of a victim of the single screen orientation here, where it makes more sense on the triple wide screen on the original Darius.
Are you sure about that? I think laser fucking sucks in the original Darius.
Yeah, when you have a huge stream of enemies and you let loose one laser that rips through all of them, makes sense. It's not so great for Fatty Glutton.
Try to get rid of it as soon as you possibly can. That's actually the hardest part of the original Darius, is just surviving that chunk of the game where you're with laser. And just praying if you pick the right route that you get enough power-ups to get you to a wave.
But
I 1CC'd all of the Darius 1 variants 2 years ago when the first Cosmic Collection came out. And,
Nice.
Yeah, Extra was definitely the hardest because it expects you to power up. Otherwise, you just keep the missile shot, like what CPS, aka Anime Girl, aka Creepy Uncle, has right now for the entire game. In fact, I no-missed Darius New, like my first try, just by keeping the triple shot, like what CPS has right here.
Yeah, and G-Darius is also very clearable with just the missile shot. I've actually been, I haven't quite done it yet, but I've been working on a Lambda clear with missile only, and in some parts of the game, it really does just make it easier.
I'm surprised that you're going for that goal.
Okay. Oh, this isn't about me anyway, it's about CPS. So...
Oh, don't be so modest. This is your voice on the screen right now. This anime girl guy, psychic, whatever.
So now
Whatever.
he has pretty much the
What
worst
about
weapon.
me? What about you?
He has pretty much the worst weapon right now, as we just mentioned, the laser. Not just the laser, but a low level of the laser, at which point it's quite weak.
One of the hardest bosses. Freaking bottom route dual horn.
Green dual horn is quite painful, but the laser here is very important because of these barrages of missiles that he's firing. Dealing with these with only the missile weapon is kind of a nightmare.
Yeah, I hope CPS is lucky and doesn't get dual horned right on screen in front of all of us, in front of a live studio audience.
As far as I can tell, dual horn has antennas, not horns. So CPS mentioned to me that this is what he finds to be one of the hardest patterns in the game.
Yeah.
The angles of these blue balls are randomized, so that means that the way they bounce around is very difficult to predict. Now he has his iFathers, he should be in good shape.
Yeah, you know what they say, like, anytime you're dealing with blue balls, you're having a rough go of it.
Here comes the beam duel, and he's powered up the beam and taken out.
Hey, bro, the
Dual
laser's coming
tornado.
out of his butt, bro. Laser came out of his butt, bro.
Alright, on to Dimension Diver. And once again, we'll see the harder variant this time. So now he's up to multi-bomb, which is the 4-way bomb shot. He's got a nice safe spot for another one of the more painful patterns to dodge, which is that opening laser barrage.
This is something you kids watching the that the kids watching the chat should know, that if you ever gotta be playing a Darius game, and I hope to God that you'll be playing a Darius game, preferably as soon as this run is over. We're gonna boot up either MAME or buy this on Steam. Your missiles do an absurd amount of damage, and
Okay, and here's another nice safe spot.
Oh my god.
A important survival strategy is to point blank with your missiles when you can. Obviously not when the boss is firing in your face, but we may see that. But it's really, really helpful to manage boss damage, because especially if you can get 2 streams of missiles going into a boss at once.
Yeah, I recall in Darius Gaiden that being pretty important to recovering is that your missiles are going to be a big chunk of your damage, and you need to be able to use those if you lose main shot power. Alright, he's got the nice double beam against Dimension Diver.
Oh no!
He juked
He
him.
ran out just a little early on him.
Is that random which edge Dimension Diver comes in from?
So, I noticed in this boss rush mode, boss rush mode, he doesn't lose power level for dying.
Huh.
Meditate on that. Boss just stuck his fucking head right in your goddamn face, man.
Like a Queen Fossil eating that battleship, right?
Yeah, you saw it earlier in the game, bro. You knew it was gonna happen.
Well, he's still got 1 life to spare. A lot of bosses to go. And this is another one of the most notorious bosses from this game, Absolute Defender, or Absolute Pain in the Ass. This guy shoots huge bullet spreads. Once again, which ones you see are going to be somewhat randomized. And coming in the normal flow of the game, starting this fight with a capture ready to go can ease a lot of the suffering of dealing with this guy, because you can take off quite a bit of damage with an alpha beam at the start of the fight. But he is going to provide these missiles that can also be used to beam or to
I like how the
absorb
game
bullets.
I like how the game like has that big flashing arrow pointing to his goiter at the start of the fight.
He's got a gross
like-
zit.
Yeah, like it's like, hey, stupid, shoot here. But I mean, I think it's kind of insulting to the audience. I assume at this point in time, all of the shoot 'em up players, all of the shoot 'em up fans have played the Zelda games, so they know when you see a big, giant, glowing red goiter on a boss, you're supposed to hit that usually 3 times, and then the boss dies. So I mean, this kind of reflects changing times, changing attitudes at the arcade. Everyone's playing Zelda, everyone's playing RPGs, everyone's, attacking the big red goiters on bosses. So, it's kind of an interesting cultural artifact from the late 90s.
Restored DF has an interesting point where the hitbox on this missile is like just big enough that CPS can turtle up on the right edge of the screen, and the missile's still protecting him from bullets.
The danger of doing that is that the laser attacks that Absolute Defender fires will still penetrate through that capture and hit the Silverhawk. Absolute
Certainly hope
Defender
that does not happen.
likes to swim around a lot.
Kind of thrashes around like a child. He's not so tough without his goiter.
That can definitely make it tough to route Absolute Defender if you want to use a bomb or a beam to get through a hard part, and then you kill it into the next phase. Absolute Defender goes into the background, and then you're just doing damage to nothing at that point.
Yeah, you can lose a lot
doing
of
the pop
damage.
fake.
So now we're coming up on Zone Eta, and we'll be seeing Fire Fossil again.
The boss, so nice, we'll fight it twice.
There have been 4 fossils. No, this is our 4th fossil.
I can feel myself ossify as I watch. So anyway, back to the lore. You see, after the conclusion of the Civil War, which destroyed the rebels, the child king of Amnelia, he had a vision, and he gave this vision to the pilots of where they were supposed to go. They were supposed to go to some vast, distant region of space in order to destroy the Kima threat. These living machines that destroyed basically the entire Amnelian royal fleet, which you see over the course of Stage 2 when you fight Queen Fossil. And he gives them this cryptic prophecy, which was, you will see the creation of new lives. And they don't really know what that means at the time. It's only ourselves, in hindsight, that know what the child king of Amnelia was talking about when he sends off these pilots on what must assuredly be considered a suicide mission. And for many weeks and for many months, it will be a suicide mission as you learn this game and try to CC it. And the bosses decide to come in from out of the screen and ram you in the face like that.
As you decide to skip extends.
as you get punked by the fake extends, or pick up shields when you shouldn't. It's kind of poetic in that sense.
And you can see that the fire effects here in the console version of the game don't have the transparency that they do in the HD version.
That's just that weak PlayStation 1 hardware.
This is a beautiful.
I had this game on PlayStation 1.
Ah, lucky you.
Well, it has the cinematic 12 frames per second. And I mean, that's like original cinema. That's like Nosferatu cinema right there. But I had it, and as soon as I got Taito Legends 2, which had a port of G-Darius, I switched over to that and got rid of the PlayStation 1 version. But then, much to my chagrin, I found out that the Taito Legends 2 version is way harder. I mean, like, way harder than the PlayStation 1 version, because it removes all the slowdown entirely. And it just makes dodging some of these patterns practically impossible, because you have no time to react to them. Whereas in the cinematic PlayStation 1 version, you have triple the time to react to patterns, so I got my no-missed 1cc on the PlayStation 1 version.
Naturally.
Team Duel not nearly as impressive on that version of Fire Fossil.
No.
I still haven't gotten the HD port. I've been, actually no, that's a mistake. I haven't gotten it on Steam. I have it on my Soitendo Switch, but sometimes playing on the TV is a pain, and I'd like to record some runs, so I'll probably do the classic shoot-'em-upper thing of double dipping on a game I've owned now for 4 times over. I guess that's a quintuple dip at this point. Just getting the last crumbs of my chip and my fingers into the dip once more time and grossing everybody out at the creepy uncle party I mentioned earlier.
We like to get our mileage out of every game.
Yeah, we have to show M2 we care by buying their game 5 times, and then maybe they'll port the games we actually want to play instead of like fucking Tiger Heli over and over again.
So,
bros, we gotta support M2. They might support Matsugun 5 years from now. We just gotta get through 16 other Toa Plan releases first.
so
Yes,
hopefully
please, give me a
on
Jet
Switch,
Nugent collection. Yes,
hopefully
give me
on
Jet
Switch you
Nugent.
have the Japanese version of the game, because I believe that the Japanese version is the only one that's got the version 2 update so far.
I'm not stupid enough to buy imports, or no, buy these Western, like, collector edition versions of these games anymore. I've learned my lesson in the past. Anyone who does is an addict. They need help. They need counseling. And we should give them sympathy, but we should also look at them with scorn. So yes, I have the Japanese version, because I wasn't about to wait 14 months to get an update that says will ship in the next 12 months.
Oh,
One tricky thing about the CCPS dodged around the tail there a bit. One tricky part about this boss is that the tail goes in and out of the foreground, and it's hard to read with the 3D graphics here exactly when its hitbox is active.
Yeah, I actually never noticed that. I always wondered. That's one of the reasons I don't like this. That's why I just prefer to fight 8-foot Umbrella, because I don't want to deal with this boss's bullshit or Eternal Triangle's bullshit. Is he gonna fight that boss? I hope we get to see it.
Eternal Triangle will be coming up right after 8-foot Umbrella.
Oh, he's fighting that too.
They're all in here.
The gangs, all the stars are all here.
All right, back to 8 Feet Umbrella. I sort of have had this theory for a while now that 8 Feet Umbrella is supposed to be called 8-Leg Umbrella or 8-Legged Umbrella because it's based on some kind of octopus, and the name 8 Feet Umbrella sort of implies that it's a rather small octopus.
That's just a theory. I think we should make a 40-minute video. Make a 40-minute video essay about that. Where are all the 40-minute video essays about shoot 'em ups? That's what everybody watches these days. All those where they talk about like who the old man in Legend of Zelda 1 was for like an hour and 20 minutes, or like some smooth hip hop instrumental plays in the background. So I think we need that for shoot 'em ups. I think there's a market that's definitely missing in that regard.
It's a video on the G-Darius iceberg, and it's just the iota level.
So again, we have the harder variant of this boss here.
Lasers. Rose, is that a Gradius reference?
I didn't catch it.
The ring lasers that look like the Gradius ripple weapon, or the salamander ripple weapon.
Yeah.
So if you could make one obnoxious shoot 'em up video essay, what would you make? And speak from the heart. Speak from the heart. What's the 1.5 hour video essay about shmups that you want to see made?
I guess mine would be about how Raiden 5 has the greatest story ever written.
No, you gotta have like that sad thumbnail with like maybe one of the characters like looking upset, and then you have something like Raiden 5 story mode broke me.
Maybe something like coming to terms with my coffee addiction while playing the Raiden 5 story, something like that.
That title's not going to get you any help on the algorithm. You gotta. Those guys have this down to a science, you know. Here's Eternal Triangle. Fog Fanatic actually would like a video on the story of Cyvaria Revision. Now, Fog may be joking, but I unironically love the lore of Cyvaria 2. You know, all 2 pages of it. Much like how I love the lore of this game, all paragraph of it.
At this part of the Eternal Triangle, don't you get like a random attack? This is another boss that comes into the screen and gives you a random attack?
Yeah, and this was one of in our first co-op clear, dealing with what Eternal Triangle was going to do was really our first big hang-up, I think.
M. Night's asked a lore question. He's asked, is there any lore to the original Cyvaria game? And unfortunately, M. Night's been cheated because the original versions of the game and the PlayStation 2 version of Cyvaria 1 and Revision, they all have like an attract mode that like details the story. They actually have an ending screen that like explains the plot of the game, but they cut that all out of the Delta release, much to my disappointment, because you have like no context for what's going on in the game. And in fact, I think what they did is that they have like superimposed the ending FMV in Delta, but they just like put a screen over it so you can't read the text that's like being displayed.
So here we have
This
a
part's
triangle
really,
attack,
yeah.
which is actually, if you played Gradius Gaiden, there's a
Yeah.
very similar triangle attack in that one, in the boss rush stage of Gaiden.
Now, is that triangle a Zelda reference?
Very well could be.
I mean, we've already established the goiter is probably a Zelda reference, so there's probably numerous ones.
So, the ribbon lasers and the smart bombs that we're firing there are all targeted. And just to mention something from co-op practice that we learned playing this game is that all the targeted attacks follow one player or the other, so you don't have to deal with varying or alternating targets. And I mention that here because I think that Eternal Triangle is where we figured that out.
One of my favorite strats was when Eternal Triangle would do that triangle formation, and then one of the players would just hang out at the edge of the screen because the triangle was centered on the other player.
Yeah, that's right. It follows around only one of the players.
That's not a bad idea. But
Yeah.
shoot 'em up players rarely have friends to play with, so I guess we're out of luck.
Well, we're here doing streams like this so people can make friends to play games with.
Bad
All right,
chance.
Lightning Coronatus.
I think I'm going to have
now
less
in
at the end of this stream
It's possible.
than I started.
It's always possible that the more we talk, the fewer friends we end up with. So now we're seeing the alternate version of Lightning Coronatus, and this is all the console or 4 consumer versions of the bosses are very similar to version 1, not the version 2 variants, even though the console or 4 consumer version came out, I believe, in '98, which is the same year that version 2 came out.
Honestly, it seems like it is interesting to me that they put in the time, they put into several months of time to tweak the game for version 2, and then they just promptly forgot about it. Either version 2 must have been very unpopular, or Taito was so bankrupt at that time that they didn't give a shit anymore.
Yeah, so I don't
This is
know the
ki-
full
this is
story,
kind of-
but I do know that
I mean,
version
this is
2
kind of
was,
at the end.
yeah, version 2
Go
was
on.
kind of the last gasp of trying to milk a little bit of additional money out of G-Darius while Taito was in financial distress.
Before they got bought up by the Arc Jarpic company, Square Enix. The this is kind of it though. I'm glad that they actually went out. Like, how many of these shoot 'em up companies just like release total garbage as they're dying?
Yeah, like what Cave is doing currently.
Well, like Cave is just like a pathetic shadow of its former self.
So, question about version
Literally.
2. Would you say it had more sophisticated attack patterns?
I think
For
it
bosses?
has denser attack patterns. So if, Lightning Chorus was one example where there's that 3-way fireball that it spits in version 1 that becomes a 5-way fireball in version 2. Dual Horn was another one where the lasers, while it rotates around the screen, are pretty much doubled. So they're definitely... they put an extra scoop of ice cream on top.
That's an interesting food analogy. Is the whole mode over?
So we have 4 more
You, bro.
of the final bosses.
4 more.
So
All
now
the
we've
final
got...
bosses.
this is the one boss in this game I actually don't know. Heavy Arm Shell. So this is the boss of
He
Mew.
can be tough. He can be tough. The Lost Continent of Mu. That's a famous archaeological theory, similar to Atlantis. Taito's, I think last arcade shooters were this and
Ray Crisis, right?
Ray Crisis. So like I said, I know people don't like Ray Crisis as much as Ray Force or Ray Storm, but I actually think it's a really good game.
Yeah.
I consider that they went out on a pretty high note in terms of their arcade output. I know Ray Crisis, I think a lot of the Ray Crisis staff was G-Rev at that point, and obviously this game was G-Rev at this point, kind of sharing their predilection or their tastes. So
So,
some of the
can I
patterns
ask
almost
you,
remind.
EC, do you know, I've heard people also say that G-Darius is basically the formation of G-Rev. Do you know which people in particular, like what developers that's in reference to?
Maruyama worked on this game. I'm not sure who else, but Maruyama, who was the founder of G-Rev, worked on this game, and I think he worked on Ray Crisis as well. I need to double check that. But I thought, like, at that point, that was the STG team. There used to be multiple STG teams at Taito. Like, there was a Darius team, there was a Ray team, there was several. By this point, I guess, it was just whoever cared about these games in the 90s, in the late 90s. They had, okay, you guys will make our STGs.
And that's a final boss? That was over, like, lickety-split.
And the reason that G-Rev is significant or worth mentioning is that they made a lot of, in the aftermath of this time period, they made quite a few very high quality 3D graphic style shooting games. Some of the great later games like Under Defeat, Border Down, Strania. So G-Darius is only the beginning. It may be the end of Taito, but being the beginning of G-Rev is something great in and of itself.
Yeah, a lot of these patterns, if you look at the patterns in this and Ray Crisis, they kind of remind
Another
me.
nice safe spot.
They do remind me, in some ways, of Border Down patterns. The bullets even kind of look like Border Down bullets, but I think that's just a coincidence. It's like Darius Gaiden, like the bullet sprites here are not really reminiscent of what you find in some of the earlier Darius games, obviously, that are 2D, of course. Where'd he go?
So here's a tether attack combined with the Taito lasers. That's a pretty difficult pattern there.
It's also very easy to get tricked out by that slicing laser he just did.
Oh yeah, so that sort of I-beam will follow you up or down across the screen, and you need to commit to the direction you dodge in, because if you juke at all or move back on yourself, you'll be in big trouble. Oh, it should be one more beam duel, I believe, until he defeats Embryon. He's got these nice behind-the-head blind spots that really simplify this battle.
The literal blind spot, he can't see there.
I guess his neck doesn't turn.
I know a few guys like that in real life. We call them no-necks. Here
Oh,
in
you only need
America.
to see the screen in front of you.
Spoken like a true schmupper.
And this ought to finish him off. Oh, come on.
Oh no!
Not quite. I think he'll be alright. Oh, here we get to see Ref Knight. Oh, he's not going to use Ref Knight at all. So, Ref Knight is an interesting capture. That is that rainbow cube thing. You pretty much only see it during these final boss fights. And it's interesting because it can be used to block the beta beams, those giant purple lasers that the boss fires. That's not terribly necessary to do, and really the only use we found for that, playing co-op, was that one player could shield the other one with it.
Yeah, by and large, you would just want to use it to beam, right?
Right, because a capture beam or an alpha beam can also block against a beam, so having a capture itself that blocks the beam is not really any different. Alright, so now we've got accordion hazard.
My no-miss in my no miss of the game, this was the final boss I chose. People say that like he's really hard, but I think he's not as bad as some of the other bosses in the game. I mean, he's no great thing, and I personally, even though the turtle died pretty quickly here, I think he's easier than the turtle.
I think Accordion Hazard is pretty much the middle difficulty boss. Like Embryon and Great Thing are probably harder, and Lightning Coronatus is definitely easier.
Well, here's the thing about this game. People are always like, dude, the lower stages you pick are always harder, bro. The lower stages, avoid the lower stages. But like sometimes, like that doesn't hold up at all. I don't know why people keep on saying that. Because like, in my opinion, Tripod Sardine is like the upper route boss, but he's way fucking harder than Queen Fossil. He could like easily just fucking wreck you,
Right.
if you're not playing against him intelligently. And like Fire Fossil, I think it was way harder than 8-foot Umbrella. So even though this boss is above Great Thing, like I think like, some of the other final bosses are way tougher than him. So the moral of the story is, don't just listen to things that everybody says and parrots and repeats without thinking about it. Either you gotta test it yourself or talk to a trusted, verified member of the community, which I happen to be.
I think that the best thing to do is to experiment with the game yourself. And I think that G-Darius is a great game for doing that because there's so many variants of the stages, so many captures to explore around with that just before you even figure out how to clear the game or put together the skills and memory to do that, there's so many different things to play around with in this game that make it really fun to just do runs and discover things. And I think that in doing that, you will probably find for yourself a route that seems feasible to you.
Half of this game was, and we're coming up against the OG, the GT.
And this is going to be the final battle, so here we go, CPS.
So that's what I did in this game. You just basically experiment and try different stage variations, and you're like, this is easier, this is harder, this is easier, this version of the boss is easier, and you just kind of construct your preferred 1cc and or scoring route from there.
Yeah, don't listen to the people that say you have to clear Lambda first. I mean, that's just silly.
There's a lot of very goofy advice sometimes given about this game and others that I think can sometimes lead people to having a harder time than it needs to be. This is also a nice game to credit feed, just because there's so much variety. You can just kind of go around and then see which parts of the game you like or prefer more. So yeah, that's my box.
Great Thing is a pretty tough fight. He's thrown out a lot of these homing lasers, and we also saw him throw out some of those right angle orange-looking lasers that sort of make a right angle turn towards the player ship, sort of like an image fight laser is what that reminds me of, and those can be pretty tricky to dodge as well. CPS has this capture, the name of which I can't remember off the top of my head, but which is unique to this Great Thing fight. Just some side shields that fire lasers. This is a nice trick with these smart bombs. I didn't know that you were safe from them in the corner that way.
Looks like he's triggering them with a missile.
Yeah, you use your missile to detonate them early, because otherwise that large hitbox, that explosion hitbox is pretty much the entire strike, so you want to be as far away from it as possible.
And you see right there, one of the annoying things about Great Thing, CPS shot off the head turrets, and like 2 seconds later, it came back.
Yeah, that's one of those regenerating parts I mentioned earlier, and they do regenerate quite quickly.
As you know, that's ironic because a whale in real life cannot regenerate any of its body.
Not even the turrets?
Not even. Not even.
So we
That
didn't
laser is what we
really...
call a sussy dodge. That's what the kids these days call a sussy dodge. All those goobers in Rosardi's chat, they say that sussy baka all the time.
So we didn't really mention the music at all in this game, but this boss theme, Adam, is a particularly well-enjoyed one, and pretty much the entire soundtrack of this game is masterpiece quality. It has an incredibly unique sound, really sounds like nothing else, and matches the otherworldly tone of the game. So even if you don't want to check out the game, which you should, yeah, a lot of sampling that gives it a cool industrial sound at times. So, you know, even if you don't want to check out the game, which you should after seeing when Nixon play that was by CPS, definitely give the soundtrack a listen. So
That's incredible. All the bosses.
A great endurance run by CPS. He took us through version 2 manic mode and now boss rush mode, and he's going to show us one final mode of the game, which is the new addition to this HD port, never been seen before. A little
is this
throwback.
the equivalent of the special? Is this the equivalent of the special features section on the DVD?
This is definitely the equivalent of the special features section on the DVD. A little throwback to the extra wide aspect ratio of the original Darius games. We've got Fire Fossil in extra wide.
Just imagine if M2 was using their efforts to make a big widescreen Darius game instead of Game Boy shoot 'em up collections. Man, the guy can dream. The guy can dream.
You gotta wonder all the decisions that go into making something like this, like where to put the boss in the screen. And it must be really hard to balance.
Right.
Well, if you've ever played an M2 arrange mode, they all know about balance.
I should mention, this is only available in the Steam version of the game. The other HD versions, even after the update, don't include exhibition mode, to my knowledge.
The fuck? The fuck's that all about?
Suppose that's because the consoles can't run in dual monitor setups, and theoretically this is for it. I don't know. I shouldn't say anything because I don't know if this runs in dual monitor.
Trust me, CPS does not have a dual monitor.
Well,
I'm
it's
99% sure.
No, it's CPS isn't running in dual monitor for sure. I think if anyone would be, it would be Ansel.
Yeah, probably. Most assuredly. That is so lame. I didn't realize that this wasn't added to the console versions. I guess some Nintendo bros lose again.
Yeah, it is a little perk you get for getting the PC version. And there goes Fire Fossil for the third time.
Consoles cannot do dual monitors. The technology is not yet caught up. Why would you want to play Legend of Zelda and Dragon Quest in dual monitors?
Oh, and Nuclear Potato in the comments has mentioned that there is a multi-monitor mode for this exhibition mode on PC. So that's pretty cool.
Which is such
that you
bullshit
get that.
because it's bullshit because they must just be lazy or something because Darius Burst is on console.
But
So like there's no reason not to have just a single screen version
well,
for this.
it definitely could be a sales thing, like something to get you to buy the PC version. And as M Night mentions, the extra wide mode in the Burst games on console obviously also does not have dual monitor support.
Yeah, but they just have it letterboxed like it is here.
Exactly.
And even in exhibition mode, half a great thing is hanging off the edge of the screen.
The big boy.
Well, he is a whale. A sperm whale, actually. Tee-hee.
To be honest, of all the phallic bosses in shooting games, Great Thing doesn't even rate, really. He's nothing compared to the R-Type series.
Well, R-Type Final 2 goes a little bit overboard with its cock bosses. IMO. That's okay. That's its thing. But that head cavity on Great Thing should be filled with sperm. If this was true to biology. Or rather, what sailors call sperm.
So, this fight in the exhibition mode is actually, it has a lot more space to breathe, essentially, so all these simultaneous patterns are actually quite a bit easier to read, it seems.
Yeah, I'm noticing that myself. I think Darius Burst tries to make the patterns harder in that ultra-wide setting by just like having 12 interlocking patterns that you're just going to block with your burst laser anyway. But with this, I can tell when you have 12 miles to dodge a pattern with, it is considerably more manageable.
Yeah, this is a really cool version of this fight, and it would be cool to see it integrated into the game. But that would kind of change the nature of, that would qualify as an arranged mode and just for one boss fight, maybe. Not worth it for two boss fights, excuse me.
Yeah, and M2's been kind of slacking on its arranged modes for the last 5 or so years.
Alright, and there is the final version of Great Thing. The final boss that we're going to see in this run today. Exhibition is over. Once again, great playing by CPS, taking us through all those bosses, through what was basically a 2-loop clear of G-Darius, followed by a boss rush.
Wow.
Quite a difficult game, and one worth checking out for everyone, really.
It is hard to believe that was 2 hours. That went by like lickety split.
There's just so much content in G-Darius that there are so many different things to see. So thanks a lot, CPS, for putting this run together for us.
Yeah.
GG bro, you did a great job. Who's next on the schedule here? We got, oh boy, KR doing Dodonpachi Sai Daijojo. That should be a good exhibition as well. We go from one anime girl game to another anime girl game. Oh, I never saw this before. This is cute.
Yeah.
It's cute little credits animation.
Should have had an exhibition where I could fight an Eclipse Eye like this. Why not? This looks like something an indie Darius release would be like.
Yeah, I think so. Could be the Darius game that M2 dreams of making, just like the Alest game that they got a chance to make.
Oh, you mean? I thought you meant the Alest game they dream of making because fucking Branch is still not out.
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
Well, I'm gonna talk about it. One of those fucking lazy motherfuckers gonna finish Alest Branch and all those other games. I don't want any more Game Boy shoot 'em ups. I don't want any more Tatsujin collections. Give me the new shit, bro. Come on, what do you got Hiroshi Iuchi doing? Just sitting on his ass, blogging about the games he's not making.
So that does it for G-Darius. Thanks everyone for watching. Stick around, and you're gonna get thrown to Saidaiojo with Kaiar momentarily.
Oh, by the way, M Night, Ninja Soldier has been rebranded as an EXA exclusive, so you'll never get to play it now. All right, it's time to. I think it's time to raid. CPS, you did a very good job.
All right, here we go. The raid.
It-
Bye bye.
Everyone, sayonara. And good job, everybody. Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if CPS comes
Thank
back.
you, thank you, thank you. Thanks for the commentary.
Yeah, it was a really good run,
I
man.
hope it wasn't too over. I hope it
Yeah.
wasn't too over the top.
Yeah, it's too bad Ansel does not join, but it's okay. You guys did a good job.
I tried to throw in some history because I wanted to talk about V2 with Ansel, but I don't actually know a lot of the history, so I had to kind of like give the very abbreviated version.
Yeah,
That's okay. That's okay. Ansel is probably too busy.
He's probably playing
He's
G-Darius right now.
no, he's probably in his bathtub. His morning ritual of playing a Zuntata album and doing unsavory things. So that's
uh,
probably what he's doing right now.
yeah.
So that's okay. Again, good job, congratulations, and yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, it was a really good run.
thank you,
the
you.
most successful
thank-
CPS stream yet.
Yeah,
I see there are 22,000 frame drops on OPS.
There were some moments.
Yeah.
And this Discord stream was actually pretty. The Discord stream itself was low quality. Luckily, the Twitch stream was not. So you got
Yeah,
that.
yeah. The Twitch stream
the-
looked great.
the Discord streaming is pretty shit. It's pretty sucks.
Yeah, that's the trade-off with
It's
it.
why
It's like,
I never stream on Discord ever again. It sucks bad.
it's
Yes, it
well,
does.
the advantage of it is that it's real time, so that's the
Yeah,
trade-off.
yeah,
Like,
it's real time because it has a delay.
yeah, Twitch has such a delay that like even I even saw someone comment that our commentary was behind at one point. So like
It is. It was because if you were commentating based off of the Twitch stream, you were. I mean, the Twitch stream and the Discord stream were several seconds out of sync. So
well yeah,
that's
and
just how
there's
it is.
yeah, I think there's like you're just adding an extra delay basically. So Anyway.
But no worries. Anyhow, I'm heading out of here.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Yeah, he's basically
Hello,
having a
hello.
debt of $8,000 for just for being able to play this game.
Yo, so one can stream the stream, or
What?
no, no.
Hi.
If someone wanna stream the stream,
Just watch it. Just watch it on Twitch.
it.
Why?
it's lagging for me. Remember?
Just don't lag.
Thanks, Alva.
Gonna have like
Is the raid
8,000 seconds
successful?
behind it.
Oh boy, you joined this chat real quick.
Yeah, the raid was successful.
Yo,
Yeah.
we see.
I'm
How's
just gonna
the
say
stream?
over-
How's my stream going? Is it good?
Yeah, it was holding 50 viewers the entire time. That was surprising.
Yeah.
when you have expert play and when you have expert commentary, you're just compelled. You're compelled to watch.
Yeah.
I know I was
missed
compelled to watch.
I missed a large part because I was doing soft drink needed to do the test for my stream before Kayar's run, so I had to do some tests.
Yeah,
but
it's okay. It's okay.
it's okay.
You're not
Catch
on
the
for like
ending.
another like. You're not like on for like another 4 hours, man.
Yeah, but soft drink needed to do it now because he considered that he's now commentating for Kayar, so he couldn't do it after.
Oh, he is. I am not even listening to this. Oh, there's his voice.
Fuck.
Always going to go for the fucking Orpho glitch, won't he?